Hi, this is Ned Siegfried from Siegfried and Jensen. As proud sponsors of Beliefcast, we hope you are inspired by Todd's weekly podcasts, which contain so many courageous stories of recovery and personal growth. Remember, it's not what happened in the past that matters, it's what happens in the future. We invite you all to work hard and be optimistic about your future. Enjoy today's podcast.
And we are back. This is Todd Sylvester with the Todd Inspires Beliefcast. Thank you for tuning in once again. You guys are fantastic. I know I say this every time, but it just really blows my mind how amazing everybody is. And, you know, the power of connection and the power of everyone sharing stories that will help change someone's life. I get messages all the time that these stories have saved lives. And today's going to hopefully be no different. You guys are going to be blown away of these two amazing people that I have here today. Before we get to them, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Wasatch Recovery, Siegfried and Jensen, Living Recovery Interventions. I just landed Thread Wallets, which is really cool. Thread Wallets is a sponsor. Mountain West Spine and Orthopedics and Veracity Networks. You guys are fantastic, and you make it possible for me to do everything that I get to do, which is really cool. And I can't thank you guys enough. And today's going to be fantastic. And we've got two people who have already been on the podcast who happen to be sisters. We have Erin and Hayley Evans. Erin and Hayley, thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having us.
Happy to be here.
This is so cool. I've had both of you on before. And Hayley, I've had you on. It's been a couple years probably at this point. Mm-hmm. And Hayley and I know each other through. I met you here. Actually, you used to be a client here at Wasatch Recovery.
I did. Yep.
Yeah. And you look amazing. And I know you're living an amazing life now. And I want people to hear a little bit of your story on that as well. And it's been fun to watch you just thrive in life again. Truly.
Yeah.
I mean, you really are a walking miracle. You should not be here.
Right.
And to see you here and just shining and beautiful, and it's so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. And then Erin is Hayley's older sister, but they look like twins. I mean, they truly do.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah, do you hear that a lot?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, you honestly, like if I said, hey, here's the twins, they would be like, they wouldn't even think twice. It's really cool. Erin has written an amazing book called There Are Fairies at the Bottom of Our Garden that, you talk about battling cancer and addiction, and then the greatest ally is hope. This is where you've taken journal entries from your mom and also from Hayley, and just what your mom and dad went through. And for those who don't know, both your mom and dad have passed away. Mm-hmm. And Erin was one of these kind of lone wolves for a minute, because while that was going on, Hayley was going through addiction. And so with addiction, Erin's thinking Hayley could probably die at any moment at the same time. And here you are dealing with the loss of your parents, and also Hayley going through what she's going through. But you've written this amazing book, and it's really heart-wrenching when you read this thing, but it's beautiful at the same time, and it's just real, and it's raw, and it's journal entries, and then it's your own thoughts about what you were going through. And just a fantastic book. And you guys, we do have to give a shout out. Hayley has a dog named Stella and Erin has a dog named Bella, right?
Yes, our kids.
The kids.
Yeah.
You got to give a shout out to the kids, but they have these two amazing dogs that they love, and they're just amazing companions, and we talk about how they're good while you're going through grief, and so on and so forth. They're both doing amazing things, but I'm going to stop talking here. But maybe we'll start with you, Erin. Why don't you give us a little background, let our listeners know what do you do, and then just kind of a little update with where you've been since we've last talked.
Well, during the day I work at a gallery up in Park City, Utah. So I'm a director there for about 12 years now, which is crazy to think.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to be there for 3 months, and now 12 years later I'm the boss.
That's amazing.
So it's a great job, but it's also because it allows me to do things on the side. So I was able to write the book, or I've been a television host at the local television show, where I've been able to interview a bunch of people and produce my own segments, which has been a lot of fun. And then just in my free time, I like to be outside with Bella and my husband, Mike.
Yes.
And just spend as much time out in nature, because that's really where I find the best way to cope with life in general.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Both of you seem like free spirits, like that way, like you enjoy the outdoors, you enjoy just being present, those kind of things. And just, again, you guys seem to enjoy life despite what you guys have been through.
As much as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So Hayley, why don't you give us a little background about you?
So I am in recovery from addiction, and I've been in recovery for multiple years now. And
Congrats, by the way.
Yeah,
That's
thank
amazing.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I have an amazing job. I help contractors get licensed with the state, but I also get to build dreams. And
Yeah.
I joke with my contractors because a lot of them have criminal records, and I think it's part of like you have to have a criminal record to be a contractor, but it's really cool because I get to relate with them on that level.
For sure.
And help them realize that it is possible to change,
Yeah. Wow.
So I love my job, and my dog Stella helps me through a lot of things. But yeah, just been living life and traveling as much as I can. And I have a great group of friends that I love to surround myself with. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I always see you in these group pictures with all these. I'm like, man, she just living the dream, it seems like, all the time. And in your relationship with Chris.
Yes.
Just want to point that out. Shout out to Chris and Mike. Just hello.
Yes, I'm in a healthy relationship,
Yes.
which is awesome. So cool.
And keyword healthy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because you've been through a lot in some of those unhealthy relationships, obviously, which was part of the addiction.
Yes.
And that kind of thing. So there's so much to talk about. I'm so excited to have both of you on. Thank you for being willing to come here and to give our listeners, some insight of what you both have been through. Like we mentioned, and both of your parents have passed away. And I think you said tomorrow, which is June 7th, is your mom's 70th birthday. Would have been your mom's 70th birthday. So what a great way to honor her today, to be on the show. And then also, your parents couldn't be prouder, I'm sure, at this moment, seeing you two together talking about these amazing things.
Yeah, we know they're not here physically, but they're around. They
sure.
show themselves.
Yeah. And you're also doing a charity event, right? Why don't we just talk about that real quick? Tell us a little bit about the charity event.
Yeah, Hayley and I both wanted to do something in honor of our mom, so I was telling her, let's do flowers or this. And then Hayley came up with the idea. She's like, why don't we do something at Huntsman? So
Huntsman Cancer Institute.
Yeah.
And so that's where Mom got a lot of her infusions and spent most of her time. But we loved Huntsman. We call it Hotel Huntsman because it's so nice up there.
Yeah,
Bougie.
it is. It's
It's very
bougie.
bougie.
Pretty bougie.
So what we're doing we're filling bags full of goodies for long-term cancer patients up there. They have
nice.
A list of items that they ask for, like coloring books, activity books, colored pencils, and so
Yeah.
many other items. So Hayley and I put out a post on Instagram and Facebook, and we've had so many donations already and money, and it's going to be a party with a purpose. That's what I like to call it. And we're doing it at a local park where everybody
right
can
on.
get together, fill the bags, and then we'll do a toast to our mom.
Oh, beautiful. So if someone, let's get right to it, wants to be involved at this point, even though it's coming up, how would they do that if they want to donate or help out?
They can just reach out to us.
Okay. Just via social media?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll put all that in the show notes as well. But
Yeah.
We have a link to the Amazon wish list on my Instagram, and then we'll post about it again tomorrow on
Okay.
Mom's birthday.
all right on.
It's this coming Sunday, so it is soon.
Oh,
But we're
wow.
hoping if we can post it tomorrow, people order things right away,
Yeah.
we'll get it in time.
Yeah. But
So.
but they could probably still donate even if it's even after the fact. And therefore, they can, help you,
Right.
with that as well. So
We want to do more of these. Haley and I want to do them on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So
love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So I definitely want to get into what happened with your mom and dad, but what's it like you two being sisters? Let's get right to it.
It's so Erin is very type A and I'm very type B.
Okay.
So sometimes it's, we mesh together really well.
Yeah.
But sometimes we don't understand each other.
but it hasn't caused a problem.
No.
We're best friends. Like before when
Yeah.
Haley was coming out of her addiction, I was just like, who is this person? I don't know who this person is.
Yeah.
I still remember driving her to go to, get her car because her boyfriend at the time had taken it while she was in jail and he got a DUI. And I took her to the lot and I'm thinking to myself, this person's a stranger in the seat next to me. And then, 4 years later now, I talk to her every day and we talk about everything. And
wow.
We actually went on our first sisters trip in December.
That's what that picture is.
Oh, is that? Yeah, we have a picture up in my office. Two amazing people, but it's up there on the big screen.
Yeah.
It's official, right?
Yeah. We went to Disneyland.
Yeah. Oh, I love Disneyland. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. So obviously it's probably why you get along though, because if you're both type A or both type B, maybe you'd kind of butt heads a little bit, but so why don't we talk about, let's get right to it with watching your sister Hayley going through this addiction. Why don't you just kind of maybe share your thoughts and your perspective of what that was like for you as the support, you're trying to hold the family together, again, dealing with what happened with your parents and then watching Hayley struggle and suffer with what she was doing.
Going through it at the time was really difficult. My mom would always say cancer or addiction is harder than cancer. And the reason why we would say that is because we would watch Hayley suffer, but she wouldn't do anything to help herself. And she knew she was doing damage, but she couldn't control what the drug was doing to her, I guess, from what I could see.
Yeah.
But my parents needed me more, so I just made sure I was with my parents. But I know there were times when my dad, he would drive to where Hayley was and he would try to bring her home and it just wouldn't happen. Or it was very hard. All of it was very, very hard. Just to see her doing this to herself from what I could see from my point of view, but I know it's a different point of view from the addict's point of view. But from our point of view, we just couldn't understand. And she was doing all these things to not get better where my mom and dad were doing all they could to get better. Yeah. So it was just hard to see why my mom and dad were doing everything. Why couldn't Hayley?
Yeah.
And we just, now after reading the book and writing the book and reading her journals and talking to her about it more, I have a lot more empathy for that. And at that time, we just didn't allow ourselves to do that. And Hayley wasn't as open at the time, but now afterwards, we have a better understanding of what each other was going through.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Hayley, did you understand at the time like how this was affecting your sister and maybe the weight of what she was going through during all that?
No, I didn't. Honestly, Erin was enemy number one to me when I was in my addiction because she wouldn't put up with my stuff,
Yeah.
She was very, she's just very direct and honest with me about the things I was doing, and it made me upset, because I didn't want to hear that.
Yeah.
But it was real.
Yeah.
So no, I didn't understand, and I didn't really understand what my parents were going through either. I really didn't know that I had the capability to,
Right.
I was in a really dark place. And I've held a lot of shame and guilt about not being there for my parents in their last days or my sister. But now I understand that addiction is so powerful and it overtakes you and you're not the same person that you are.
Yeah.
And the Hayley today would never, ever, just be absent like that. And the fact that I was, I can understand that it was, I was not well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. When someone's caught up in addiction, I mean, because logically you go, well, I would never do that. But when you're caught up in it, you just do things you'd never thought or dream you would ever do. You've been through so much. Why don't you give our listeners a little more background? When did your addiction start, and maybe some of the kind of the low points that you went through? And then Erin, you can chime in as she shares this with what your perspective was at the same time. Okay.
So when I was young, I was about 15. I started experimenting with ecstasy, and it just progressively got worse. I started doing, all the things in high school, and in retrospect, I realized then that's when my addict behavior started.
Yeah.
Drinking a lot, in high school, going to school drunk. And that's not normal behavior, you know?
Right.
And all my friends were doing it, so I thought it was.
Yeah.
And then when I was about in my 20s, I started doing, or 19, I would say, I started doing opiates. You know, pills, things like that.
Yeah.
I was in a very tumultuous relationship with an abusive man. And he introduced me to opiates and all of that, and I kind of took it and ran. And pills eventually went to heroin and meth together, and being in a very abusive relationship and dealing with addiction, I kind of just lost contact with my family. There was times when it's funny because I was telling Erin about withdrawals, and
Yeah.
she never knew like the extent of withdrawals.
Yeah.
She thought that I just wanted to get high.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
sure.
And so she got married, and I was deep in my addiction, very deep.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost missed the wedding, you know? And it was a super chaotic day, and I had to get my fix. I had to get my stuff before I went to the wedding, or
Yeah.
else I would be sick at the wedding, you know?
Right.
So I was super late. They were starting to walk down the line, and
wow.
I ran up. My mom's bawling,
Oh,
and I
man.
have fresh pick marks on my face, and I just look like a disaster, super skinny. And
Man.
I just jump in the line, start walking down the line, and watch her get married real quick. But now we talk about it, and she still was holding a resentment against me towards that for obvious reasons, right?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And she's like, I just don't know why you needed to be high that day. And I was like, it's not that I did need to, but it's
Right.
not that I wanted to feel like the sense of euphoria. It's because the withdrawals are so intense that
Yeah.
you can't move if you don't have that.
Yeah.
And it was interesting that she didn't quite understand that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of family members don't understand that. I think we don't.
Right.
We've never been through it.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's going on. And at that point in time, I don't feel like it was something a lot of people talked about.
Right.
And so a lot of like addiction is just thrown under the rug, and it's something to be ashamed of in your
Right.
family. And that's another reason why we go out and talk about it, because it's not something, it needs to be talked about. We all
Yeah.
need to learn from that. So people do know. It's like now we say that and people's like, oh, she didn't want to get high. She needed to get high
Yeah.
in order to function and be
Yeah.
and live.
And that's what keeps people in the addiction. I've heard it described this way that, think of the worst flu you've ever had before and then times it by 10. Because think about it, when you get the flu and it wipes you out, you're wiped out. You can't, I'm in bed for 4 days, right? You times that, the intensity of that, and that's what it's like for these people who are coming off opiates or benzos or what have you. And it's a brutal process, but it keeps people in that cycle, because there's probably a part of you that's going, man, I got to stop doing this, but yet then you go back to it because you don't want to be sick.
Yeah. And the mental part too, right? So you have that physical reaction,
Yeah.
and then your brain is like, let's make this better.
Right.
Let's go,
Yeah. Well, yeah, our brains don't want to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what can I do to be comfortable? I know what I can do. I can just totally take a little bit and I'll be okay for a little while longer.
Yeah.
But yeah. Wow. And your wedding of all things,
Yeah.
she comes running, and you probably look like a mess, I would imagine, based
I
on the
did.
way you describe it. And here you are going, what is going on?
Yeah,
Right?
it was more so my mom. My mom was
Yeah.
so upset. She was supposed to drive Hayley up to come get ready with everybody in the area that we were in before the wedding, and she just said, I can't do this. So she called her best friend Carol, and Carol said, I will do it. And Carol's like her second mother. They've
Right.
grown up, and she's been there for Hayley ever since she was little. And my mom dropped the bridesmaid's dress off to Carol's, and Carol went to where Hayley
Went and
was.
picked her up.
Pretty much told her, you're
Wow.
getting in the car now. And she got dressed in the car on their way up. And so Carol saved the day that day. But I just, for some reason, the wedding's supposed to start at 4, and Hayley still wasn't there. And everybody said, what do you want to do? I said, she'll be here. I know she will. She'll be here. And then, like Hayley said, she showed up right in the nick of time. And my mom was crying because Hayley showed up. She was just crying these happy tears because she was so happy Hayley was there.
That she got there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shout out to Carol, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Thanks for helping
Carol.
out. Yeah. Wow. Well, I mean, we could talk a lot about that, but I maybe have you guys also talk about what happened to your mom and dad, because I think, you know, there might be a lot of people listening not quite sure what happened. So maybe describe what happened to your dad and then your mom, and, you know, what that was like too. Obviously, both of you going through this, maybe seeing it from different angles because of what you were going through, Hayley. But maybe talk about what happened to your mom and dad so our listeners can understand that better.
Oh, of course. Want me to go?
Sure, you can start.
Okay.
I know it's a big question, you know, but
I can just share my perspective.
yeah, that'd be great.
So in 2015, I got a call from my dad, and he said, I need you to come to my house. And so I go to his house, and I don't see them very often. And my mom picked me up, took me over there, and she's like, this is serious. You need to talk to your dad. So I go there, I grab some yogurt from his fridge, and I go downstairs and talk to him. And he tells me he has stage 4 lung cancer. And I know Erin has a different story with this because she was with him on this area. I was deep in my addiction here, and he just kept, I remember sitting in his basement, and he was just talking to me about how I need to get better. I need to get clean. I need to change my life. And I didn't want to hear it, you know. Fast forward to a couple days later, Erin texted me that he was dying and in the hospital.
Man.
Yeah. So, do you want me to share more on that?
Yeah, please. Like, so you get this text?
Yeah, I got this text.
I mean, that's heavy.
And again, I was withdrawing. Very intense withdrawals. And my sister is calling my phone repeatedly, right? Our dad is dying. And I'm just ignoring the calls, ignoring them. And my mom starts calling me, and I'm just ignoring the calls. And they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm at a job interview. Like, completely lying, you know?
Wow.
But really, I was just trying to find some heroin.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
you don't typically, what are you doing? I'm trying to find some heroin right now, but can I call you back?
yeah,
You
like,
yeah, you wouldn't normally say that, I guess, right?
Right. But now I can be honest about it, right? So, so anyway, Erin texted me and said, Dad is literally dying. You need to come up to Huntsman right now. And so this sweet woman who was also an addict was at the house that I was at. And she said, your dad is dying. I'm taking you there right now. And so she drove me up to the hospital. And I don't know where that woman is today, but I'm very grateful for her.
Yeah, wow. For her to do that, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, she's like, I don't care that you're sick. Like, you're going up there. So I went there and I was withdrawing, but my dad didn't. Well, he recognized me and Erin, but the ammonia had been released to his brain. And so he's a 6'4" judge, 6 feet tall, 4 inches. He's a judge. He's a very intelligent, coherent man.
Yeah.
Seeing him on the bed completely incoherent and kind of acting like a toddler was extremely hard.
Yeah.
And back to the yogurt thing, the last time I saw him, I ate his yogurt. So when I walked in, he said, there's no yogurt here. Why are you here? Right? Like, and I'm bawling, you know, and he's talking about yogurt. But,
oh my gosh.
and then a few days later, he passed from the lung cancer. So it was super fast.
Yeah. So Erin, maybe on your end, so you're texting Hayley, where are you? Get your butt up here. This is serious. Tell us your feelings and thoughts. What was going on in your mind?
Well, I was with my dad when we found out. Okay. So what happened is he had really bad heartburn for a couple weeks, and he couldn't figure out why. Then it finally got so bad, he finally went to the emergency room at 11 o'clock. Or I want to say 7 o'clock. And so I'm texting him, are you okay? Are you okay? Not getting any reply. And I looked at my husband and like, should I go down there? And he goes, yeah, you just need to go down there. So it's 11 o'clock on a Wednesday. Yeah. And he's just curled up in a fetal position. And like Hayley said, to see your father, who you've always looked up to as a strong person in your life, just sitting there just in so much pain, it was so hard to see. And so we're sitting there, and I go up to someone in the emergency room, like, my dad needs water. And apparently it was the doctor. He was very nice about it.
Right.
But he came in and just told us that he had lung cancer, and they didn't know at that point, they didn't know how bad it was.
Right.
So I didn't know what to do. I wanted to just fall to the ground crying.
Oh, yeah.
But I was like, no, I've been in this position before. I was there when they told this to my mother. I just need to stay strong for my father. He's always been there for me. So I remember following him up to his room where he's going to stay for the next couple of days, and just getting to my car and just crying. Like, I couldn't even put the key into the ignition because I was just like, this is so much right now. My mom has cancer. My dad has cancer. And now my sister has a heroin addiction who isn't here for me.
Oh, my gosh.
And thank goodness I had my husband and my dog, like we said before. But it was just so difficult at that point in time to just think that my family is just falling apart.
Oh, my goodness.
And then I thought, well, if we've gotten through this with my mom, we can get through this with my father. So just keep going and keep moving and just do what you can. The next few days he was at that hospital, and then he went home, but he was still very, very sick. And so my aunt, who is his older sister, came over and she said he has to go to the emergency room. She had no idea how bad he was. So I took him up to the U, knowing that if he goes to the University of Utah, that he's going to be able to get into Huntsman, because that's where it happened to my mom several times.
Right.
And they took him right in. He had such jaundiced skin. He was yellow. They said, your liver enzymes are off the charts. We have to get you into Huntsman right away. And that was on Monday. He was there for a couple of days. And that's when I'm texting Hayley, you need to get your butt up here. Like, this is serious. Like, I don't care how sick you are. I don't care whatever. You need to get up here.
Yeah.
And it was so hard for me because seeing my mom upset and wanting to be there for my dad, and I had to work. So I went back to work on Tuesday, and I got this phone call from I went to say goodbye to my dad, and he said, I love you. And he was coherent at that time. And then about an hour later, I got a call from my other aunt, and she said, your dad wants to talk to you. And he said, what are we doing for lunch today? And I was like, that's when I knew. I was like, he's not well.
Yeah.
So I rushed down the canyon because I work in Park City, and just went to his side, and I was there until he passed. And luckily Hayley was there when I got there, which was a sigh of relief. And
yeah, I bet
my mom was able to take her. And I know Hayley was saying that she needed to get high. And from writing the book, I realized that my mom, she didn't want to enable her, but she also knew that she needed to be there for my father. So I remember my mom, Hayley, telling me that my mom drove her to go get her fix. Did she pay for it too?
Yeah.
So mom paid for it just because she knew it was more important for Hayley to be there at that moment, whether she was high or not.
Yeah, and that, people might be thinking, what's going on there? But she knew how important it was because your dad was on his last breath, basically, knowing that you got to be here. We can't not have you leave. I mean, can you imagine had you had missed that or,
Right. And unfortunately, how enthralled I was in my addiction, I don't know that I would have, I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't, I don't know. It's kind of sad to think about, but because you never know if you don't have your fix, if you're not, and especially in a terrible time like that, the only thing I know to make me feel better at that point was to numb it out,
Yeah.
And so, so people might think that, like, why did her mom do that? But I am grateful that she did.
Yeah. Yeah. And people who have been, I've been addicted, and I know what it's like to go through that and withdrawals. And so I get it. Some people might be thinking, well, why would they do that? But again, I see how important it was that you had to be there for your dad, especially at that time. Right.
Yeah.
And I think mom wanted you to be there for her too.
Yeah.
Even though they were divorced, he played a big part of her life. And Hayley stayed with mom during that time. And I think it was so important for them to have each other at that time, whether you were high or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. It just blows my mind, what you guys have been through. Let's talk about your mom and just kind of maybe what she went through and kind of do this kind of the same background like you did with your dad. Maybe start with you, Erin, on this one. Yeah.
It was in August of 2013?
2012.
2012. You have a better memory than I do. So I was holding a bridal shower for one of my best friends in my mom's backyard, and my mom just wasn't feeling well. And then her stomach started to swell up. And it ended up, she called her doctor, and they said, it's called ascites. And we had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
And it's when this fluid builds up in your stomach, the cancer causes this to happen. And so she went to her doctor, and then next thing we know, she's getting surgery, and they're ready to take the cancer out of her stomach. At this point, they had no idea what kind of cancer it was. They just assumed it was stomach cancer. When we went, it was just me there. My husband had to work. He didn't really know the severity of it at that time. No one did.
Yeah.
Her best friend, Mame, came to talk to me and sat with me for a bit, but Hayley was nowhere to be found. And that was really hard for me to be sitting there just by myself in this white waiting room, trying to get my mind off of things, watching daytime television. Next thing I know, I get a call from the doctor to come talk to him about what's happened. And they told me that they couldn't take the cancer out. And they didn't know what the prognosis was at that time, but it wasn't good.
Yeah. So
again, I just kind of stood against the wall when they left me, and I just kind of stood there looking at this blank wall, like, what do I do? I mean, my mom has cancer. I guess I wasn't even married at that time, actually. So I was living with my dad. And then we went down to the room, and she asked me to call everybody. She gave me a list of people to call to tell them what had happened after surgery and give them the good prognosis, because that's what we thought it was going to be. But so I had to start calling my aunts and uncles and tell them the bad news. And she came wheeling in, and I started crying. And she said, "Why are you crying?" And I just told her, I'm like, we'll talk about it later. Because she's such under anesthetic.
Right, yeah.
She wouldn't take it in.
She wouldn't take it in, yeah.
So when she got home, we had a lot of visitors. She had so many friends. Our mom was the best. Like, she had more friends than anyone I know. And I took her dogs for a walk with Mike, my now husband, and he had been wanting to get married for so many years, but I just kept saying, no, I'm not ready.
Right.
And at that point, we'd been together for about 8 years. And then that night I said, so what do you think about getting married? And he said, really? And I said, well, I want my mom to be at our wedding, and we don't know how much longer she has. So, so that was kind of a proposal, but he officially proposed months later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after that, we just spent as much time with our mom. She was on hormone replacements. She did chemotherapy for a little while.
Yeah.
And then the doctors were able to put her on hormone replacements. She went to Huntsman, and the first doctor she saw was a stomach cancer doc. And he said, you're doing too well to have stomach cancer. You don't have stomach cancer. And I want to say he saved her life, because the first doctor we went to, I should have put this in there, I was at a different hospital, and he said, you have 9 months to live. And he didn't even really talk to us about it. He just came in and said, you have stomach cancer, you have 9 months to live.
Wow.
Both of us, mom started bawling. Me being the person, I'm just like, okay, can't cry in front of mom. I need to do this. We went out to lunch, and I said, we're going to figure this out. So I immediately called Huntsman. They got us in, and that's where we found her first doctor, who prolonged her life for as long as he could.
Yeah.
He was incredible.
Wow.
And he's actually a good friend of mine I met during this time. She had pancreatic cancer.
Okay.
And she had 1% chance of living, and he saved her life, and she is doing so well right now. So meeting her while my mom was going through cancer was, I feel like, was meant to be.
Yeah.
And she's still one of my dear, dear friends to this very day. But mom spent some time at Huntsman, in and out, mostly on hormone replacements after chemotherapy. And then she got switched to a different doctor. And about 3.5 years later is when she had to get back on chemo, and it just wasn't working. She started losing so much weight.
Yeah.
She just wasn't the same person. And then she stopped doing chemo, and they told her she had about 3 months, but it was really 3 weeks. And during that time was really tough, because we were planning on going through things through her house, going through photographs, having her tell me stories and what to keep and what not to keep. And we just didn't get that chance. Man. So again, it was pretty sudden. I felt like she was going downhill, but we didn't think it was going to be so fast.
Right.
But she had friends and family to the very last day staying with her.
And what day did she pass? What year was that?
January 30th, 2017.
2017. And your dad passed in?
September of 2015.
2015.
And my mom passed on the same day as my grandfather.
her dad.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
And they were very close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your dad passes away, your mom passes away. Hayley's still in the thick of what she's doing with her addiction and things like that. And here you are. I mean, you're probably just going, what is going on? Did you ever have thoughts? And I'm sure you did, but I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what were you thinking? Did you go like, man, I could lose Hayley now?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, when she was saying how she didn't keep in touch with us,
Yeah.
I would look at her Facebook all the time just to
Mhm.
see if she posted, just to see if she
Yeah.
was alive.
Wow.
And many days, and sometimes I'm like, well, her boyfriend at the time could post something thinking that
Right.
it's her. We don't
Yeah.
know for sure. Or every morning I would watch the news thinking if you see someone like a young woman was killed and, you know, whatever, I was like, please don't be Hayley. Please don't be Hayley. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
that's what's going through my parents' mind as well.
Yeah.
But during my mom's cancer, Hayley was there quite often. She came a lot. She spent a lot of time with mom. She would come to the appointments, and it made mom so happy. You could just tell the difference in her
Yeah.
attitude. And when dad passed is when that story, if you want to tell that story, when you came to, that's how she ended up here at Wasatch. Her first time, well, how many times of that in rehab?
We lost track.
I've been to rehab a bunch, but yeah. When my dad passed, I got an intervention from them. They told me money was at the house. So
Yeah.
what's one way to get an addict to the house is tell them that there's money.
We got some money for you.
Yeah.
But then you walked into this intervention.
Yeah, and my sister's husband took the steering wheel off of the
No, it
car.
was the tire.
No, it was the steering wheel.
The steering wheel too?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know
He
that.
took the steering wheel
Wow.
off the car so I couldn't leave because that's who I was, right?
Yeah.
If I'm presented with anything that I don't want to do, I'm out.
You're out of there.
You know?
Yeah, right.
So he took the steering wheel off the car. It didn't go well. I started, acting out. And I had felony warrants out for my arrest. And so
Yes.
they threatened me with rehab or jail. And any addict would choose rehab. So
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that the story you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the story.
Well, yeah. And I wish we could show you listeners right now a picture of Hayley of the before and after that you sent to me, or I think you put it on and you let me have it. And I actually share it with the residents here all the time. Like, here's what you guys look like now, but here's the possibility. And it's amazing the contrast of the way you look
Yes.
when you were in the height of your addiction to, now even. It's just, it's scary to see that she was that far gone. I mean, honestly, you're a walking miracle, truly. Like, that is not even taking it, saying it lightly. That you truly are.
Yeah.
But yet, here's Erin trying to hold everything together. I don't even know how you were doing this.
I don't either. I
mean,
really don't.
honestly.
It was just like going through the motions. I'm in the book, I remember writing when mom was first diagnosed.
Yeah.
I just couldn't feel anything.
Yeah.
And there's still times like that. So I told my husband my boyfriend at the time, I really don't like haunted houses. And so there's
Yeah.
it was October, and so it was haunted house season. I said, I need to feel something. So can we please just go to a haunted house?
Serious?
Like, can we
Wow.
please just go? And it was one of the best things. Like,
Yeah.
we're walking through, and I started laughing at one point, and it was like I could actually feel something
Yeah.
for even 30 seconds. And that's how it was for a very long time. When Hayley was in her addiction after mom passed too, and she was in jail and going through mom's house and finding out there was meth in the house. And we're like, how did this happen? And it was just like one thing
Yeah.
after another. You just kind of have to keep going as much as you possibly can. And just as I tried to take care of myself, but thinking back on it, I didn't. I mean, I worked out and tried to be out in nature as much as I could and be with my
Yeah.
dog. And that was the best thing for
Best
me.
thing, yeah.
But just getting older and going through things and writing the book was very cathartic. I've just learned different ways to take care of. So if anyone's going through anything, I would say please take care of yourself first,
Yeah.
because you can't take care of other people unless you're taking care of yourself.
Absolutely.
Because I learned that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I got one more question. Then I want to talk about some more of things that you've learned, lessons learned kind of thing. But so, Hayley, here's my question to you. Your parents both pass away. Your sister's struggling. I mean, you knew that, right? You knew she's suffering, watching you suffer. what was going through your mind? Were you having thoughts of, I know there was this intervention and you eventually went to rehab and things like that, but did you ever, like, when your parents passed, were you like, I've got to change my life, I got to do something different? Or did that not cross your mind because you were so deep into it?
Well, it's odd, right? So
Yeah.
my mom passed January 30th of 2017. And when my mom passed, I was heartbroken. Because my dad is a huge a huge part in my life, but my mom and I were best friends. We were just, we were just best friends.
Yeah.
So when she passed away, she actually told me she was going to stop chemo before she told Erin. And this, I looked at her because Erin was enemy number one when I was in my addiction. And I said, you're going to leave me alone on this earth with Erin? Just because Erin called me all my bluffs,
Yeah.
And so I didn't like that, but now it's completely different. But that's what I told my mom, and I was really upset with my mom
Wow.
for stopping chemo because she just had enough,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So to answer your question, my mom passed away in January of 2017. The house that I was staying in was raided March of 2017. So I was finally picked up on my felony warrants.
Yeah.
And I was held in jail with a $50,000 cash only bond, so that I was not getting out.
Yeah.
So the way that happened seems kind of cosmic to me.
Yeah.
Like it was meant to be.
Meant to be. Yeah.
So I was stuck in jail, right? This time, not getting out. And I just remember the mirrors in the jail cells are not mirrors. They're just like a cookie sheet, essentially. You can just see like your...
Kind of see something
yeah,
there.
you can see like, oh, I'm supposed to be there. So I remember looking in that and just not recognizing myself because I'm finally detoxing, right? Withdrawing in jail. And I'm like, my mom is gone. My dad is gone. These are the first time I'm feeling this, I've been in a very abusive relationship for 8 years at that point. And I had no hope, and I had so much shame and guilt and just not understanding who I was and how I got there. And it was a really dark moment. So I just remember I just kept reading books in jail, reading books. And I was just like, you know what? I can either end my life or I can try to change.
Yeah.
And that was real. I had nothing,
Yeah.
And so I got proposed with the offer of drug court. And then my sister found another treatment center, and it all just kind of came to fruition. And I think I was finally ready.
Yeah.
You have to get to that point. I had to lose both parents and just lose literally everything to get to a point where I needed to change my life.
Wow.
So.
Well, and we don't have enough time to go through all your rehabs and stuff that you've been through. That would take 4 or 5 hours at least. No, but my experience with you here at Wasatch, and that was towards the tail end when you finally were getting it and changing, and you did great work, and I was grateful and blessed to be able to be a part of that journey at the time in meeting with you and helping counsel you, but to see you from that point to now is just truly makes my heart just beat stronger and faster, and and to see these two beautiful sisters sitting here despite what you've all been through, and thankfully you didn't die, Hayley. And then Erin, I know you know this, but you've got your sister. And what a great way, like we were saying earlier, to honor your mom and dad today, to be talking together, with this very vulnerable situation.
Yeah.
It was their dying wish for Hayley to get better.
Yeah.
I remember my mom telling me that my dad said to her, just get her better. Just that's what, and I know that's what mom wanted to.
Yeah.
And so that was put on me, get her better, and I'm happy to do it, and was there for every step of the way. Even when she was in jail, I'd visit her twice a week and buy her everything that she needed. And
Yeah.
I was there.
You were there for her.
Yeah.
Even when you're like, I don't want my number one enemy coming to see me. Stay out of here.
See, I wasn't an enemy at that time.
At that point, you weren't. Yeah, at that point, you were like, not.
No,
Yeah.
she wasn't at that point. I was like, oh, wow, okay. She
Yeah.
actually does love me.
Yeah.
And she's just giving me tough love, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do. That's what we were told to do. You know, you just have to give
Yeah.
tough love.
Yeah, you do. And yeah, it gets to that point. Well, you know, I know this is going to be a really big loaded question for both of you, but if you could maybe say one lesson you've learned, we'll start with you, Hayley, through all of this. And I know this is a big question. I know there's thousands of lessons you both have learned, but what's one that maybe stands out to you, one or two that stands out of a lesson you've learned through all of this? And, you know, here you are sitting here today. What would you say?
That is a very loaded question.
I know. Sorry to hit you with that one, because again, I know, but I think
Yeah.
our listeners need to hear, you know, because there's probably some going through the same thing. I'm sure they have a brother or a sister or a mom or a dad who maybe have passed away, or they've got a loved one going through addiction. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's tough, but man, there's so many amazing lessons at the same time that happen.
So many.
So many.
So many. So in regards to grief, right? It's been really hard I didn't really get to say goodbye to my parents, right? And the one thing that lives with me is treating others the way that they taught me to treat others, or living life the way that they taught me. So like the best versions of them. And what I look up to in them is how I live my life. And that's really all that I have, you know?
Yeah.
Like I have mementos and stuff like that, but living the way that they taught me to live, or the way that they lived their lives, the ways that I appreciated them as, that's kind of how I live my life now. And in regards to recovery, it's just one day at a time. Keep pushing.
Yeah.
And just, you're amazing. No matter what you've been through, you are amazing. And you have everything in your palm of your hands, and you have all the potential in the world. Just keep going.
Keep going. Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. Honoring them by living the best attributes and characteristics that were them. That's beautiful. Thank you. Erin, how about you?
For me, it's just don't sweat the small stuff. I mean, I know that sounds simple, but like Hayley said, I'm very type A. So before everything happened, I was like my father, our father.
Yeah.
But after everything happened, life is short. You just never know. So live your life to the fullest. If you want to take that vacation, take that vacation.
Yeah.
If you want to eat the food you want to eat that food. Like, you just live your life, because you just never know when it's going to happen. We found out our dad had cancer on Friday, and he passed on a Wednesday. Wow. And he was the strongest person we've ever known.
Yeah.
And so you just never know what could happen. So that, and I'd like to say my biggest strength is my vulnerability, and my ability to be vulnerable. And writing this book was so huge, because it was right when we were in the middle of things. It's not when the end, like Hayley, like things are all good now. This book is when we're in the middle of it, what we were feeling at that time. And hopefully that will help others realize, like, when you're in the middle of it, things can turn out, things might not turn out, but when you're in the middle of it, that's when you want to tell your story.
Yeah. The book is called There Are Fairies at the Bottom of Our Garden, and it's very heart-wrenching, but beautiful, like I said, at the same time. It's very real. It's straight from journal entries and your own thoughts, and it's just a beautiful book. I recommend anyone getting this book who's going through grief, or have a loved one who's struggling, or no matter what it is. It doesn't have to be cancer or addiction. It can be anything, and people can gain a lot of insight from what you've written in here, and what, your own journal entries even are so raw and real. It's actually really amazing, I think, that you did this.
Yeah, I'm thankful for Hayley for allowing me to use her journal entries. And my mom, she's the star of the book. Her poetry throughout the book is just the best part, I think. But.
So, no, it's beautiful. Why don't let's maybe tell us your mom's full name and your dad's full name. Let's honor them by giving out their names today.
My mom was Judy Elizabeth Evans.
And her maiden name was Boris.
Yeah.
Okay.
And our dad is Michael Scott Evans.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, love and respect to them today. And again, they couldn't be prouder of probably seeing you two sitting here sharing this with the world. We'll try to get this out to as many people as we possibly can. If there is someone, that needs help or is suffering right now, that are listening to your voices and they're not sure where to turn, you've already given some great advice. I mean, it's been fantastic, but what's one thing you could tell that one person right now who's maybe feels lost or dark and no hope?
One thing that I've found out is everything we've lost everything, and after not everything, but losing something that's irreplaceable, I used to go out and try to buy things or do this or do that or with drugs, you want to get the next fix, but I've learned that it's not what you're getting, it's what you're not giving.
Yeah.
And so to make me feel better, I know Hayley feels the same way. We try to give back as much as possible, even if it's giving a bottle of water to someone that's on the street or buying them lunch or even talking to them. I mean, just spending some time with someone that may not be alone. You just feel so much better after that. It's for you and for other people. Yeah. So giving back to the community in any sort of way that you possibly can. And love it. Even if it's buying $10 of hamburgers and handing them out on the street, it just is so rewarding in so many ways. So that's what I would say.
Love that. Giving back. Beautiful. How about you, Hayley?
So along with addiction, in recovery comes depression and your brain not being the way that it used to be, right? Yeah. So I struggle with depression and other things in my recovery. And one thing that I've learned and that I want to stress to people is what you're feeling is only temporary. Happiness is only a temporary emotion, right? But peace is what you're searching for. Yeah. And I love that. You're not alone, and there's different ways that we can get out of it. There's people you can talk to, and I would like to put my information in the bio if that's okay. Absolutely. So if anybody's struggling with addiction or anything, they can always reach out to me, and I'd be happy to go to coffee or do whatever. So. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll definitely put both your contact information in the show notes. And also a link on how to get the book. And you're doing the charity event, which is coming up, which will be really cool. I think that, again, that's you guys giving back, which is a great way. And it does, I say this a lot here to the clients, that if you master the first 11 steps of AA, you'll drink again. If you master step 12, you'll never touch another drop. And step 12 is giving back. It's making a difference in someone else's life. And so, wow, I mean, there's so much more we could talk about, but I think this is a good place to just kind of wrap things up. It's just, as I sit here and listen to what you guys have been through and how you guys have, survived this and now honoring your parents by living a good life. And like you said, it's the greatest gift you can give your parents is to be this. And I'm sure they're probably laughing like now they're best friends, sitting here, used to be enemies, and it was enemies for a reason. I get it. Yeah. You weren't necessarily enemies, but it was just because of what was going on. But to see you guys together, it's just truly a miracle. It
really is.
Isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm grateful for her every day and that she's still, that she's here. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, your story still, Hayley, helps so many people here. I share it all the time. Good. About a certain store we won't mention that used to help supply your drug habit, but how you made amends and just your before and after picture. I always just show, hey, it's possible you guys can change, and it's just I hope you know that even when you're not here, you're still helping people. So grateful to be a part of your journey here at Wasatch Recovery. It was awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I love it here.
Yeah. Any final words before we wrap it up? Any final quotes or anything you'd like to share?
I don't think so.
Just don't give up, Yeah. It sounds so stupid and cheesy, but really don't give up. Yeah. Yeah. Don't quit before the miracle happens. That's what I've always been told. And I think it's true. Yeah. Just keep going.
I love it. We'll end right there. That's beautiful. Don't give up. Don't stop before the miracle happens, guys. Don't ever forget that. If you have a loved one who's struggling right now with addiction or cancer or whatever, or if you're in a dark place, but if you know someone, share this episode with them. This will help break the ice. It'll inspire them. Hayley and Erin will inspire them to know not to give up and to keep pushing forward. And so this has been a wonderful episode. Thank you guys. This has been fantastic. You guys are truly amazing. There's a light in this room because of you two, and we're grateful to have you in this world. And again, like we said, your parents are very proud of you, I'm sure, right now, just clapping away and cheering you on at this very moment. So thank you for being willing to be vulnerable with us today.
Yeah, it's been an honor.
Yeah. Well, there you go, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, share this. Thanks to our sponsors. You guys are fantastic. This wouldn't be possible without you, and I'm so grateful for it. And I'm grateful that I get to sit with these amazing people face to face. I'm spoiled. I get to sit here and hear the story firsthand, and so it's really cool. But I love you guys, and please tune in till the next one. Love you.